All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in email marketing, the autoresponder. We're going to break it all down and show you a simple trick that makes it, well, a whole lot less scary.
You know that feeling, right? You log in to GetResponse, you see that automation button, you click it, and suddenly you're staring at this complicated looking page and you just close the tab. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. But here's the thing, there's a way to do it that completely flips the script. It's one tiny change in your workflow that turns the whole process from this confusing technical headache into something that's actually kind of easy.
So, here's what we're going to do. First, we'll talk about why this is so tricky in the first place. Then, I'll show you a much smarter way to think about it. We'll dive into the newsletter draft hack itself, walk through the exact steps, and I'll even throw in some bonus tips to make you super fast.
Okay, let's get into it. To really get why this hack is such a game changer, you first have to understand what makes the normal way of doing things feel so clunky.
So, the first thing most of us do is click Create Autoresponder, and bam, you're immediately trying to do two totally different jobs at the same time. You're trying to be creative and write a great email, but you're also trying to be technical and figure out all the settings. It's just overload.
So what if we just didn't do that? What if we decided to split those jobs up and turn a complex process into two very simple ones? And this really lays it all out. Look at the left side. That's the standard way, where you're juggling everything and feeling stuck. It's messy. But now look at the right. This is our hack. You just focus on writing the email first in the simple newsletter editor. Get it perfect, save it as a draft, and then you go into the autoresponder and just pick it from a list. See the difference? So much cleaner.
And that brings us to the core of this whole thing, the newsletter draft hack. It's a simple idea, but it really does change everything about how you'll approach this.
This quote from the source material really says it all. The big secret is to completely ignore the Create Autoresponder button, at least to start. You're actually going to begin in a totally different place. And this is why it works so well. You're putting up a wall between two different types of thinking. First, you put on your writer hat. You're just focused on the words, the subject line, the call to action. No distractions. Then, once that's done, you switch hats and become the technician. And all you have to do is hook everything up.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's make this real. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps, click for click, so you can see just how simple this is.
All right, part one is all about creating your email. You're going to go to Messages, but you're going to click Create Newsletter. Now, here's a little pro tip. Pick the previous version of the editor. It's often a bit simpler. Start with a blank template, write your killer email, and then, this is the most important part of the whole process, you're going to click Save as Draft. That's it. Don't send it, just save it. Okay, now for part two, the magic. Now you go and click Create Autoresponder. You set your rules, like when it should send, say on day 0 for a welcome email. Then, when it asks you to create the email, you don't have to. You just click that beautiful little button that says Choose Message, head over to your drafts, and there it is. You just select the email you already wrote, hit Save and Publish, and you're golden.
So now that you know the basic hack, how about we level up a little? Here are a few extra tricks from the source material to make you even faster.
These are awesome. First, once you have an email you like, just duplicate it for the next one in your sequence. No need to start from scratch. Second, if the editor ever starts looking weird, just hit that little WYSIWG button at the bottom. It's like a magic reset switch. Oh, and you can also reuse old newsletters you've already sent, not just drafts. And finally, always make sure you've got the right list or campaign selected at the top.
And there you have it. The whole takeaway is just this. Change your starting point. Start with the newsletter tool, not the autoresponder tool. It lets you separate the creative from the technical, and suddenly you can build these powerful automations without all the frustration.
So now that you see how easy this can be, the only question left is, what's that first automated email you're going to build?